oh, he smells like pee, you know what I mean? You know,
Oh,
smacking
yeah,
kids upside
whatever.
the head.
Yeah.
Like we were brutal.
Yeah.
And however, you know, that kid that you're picking on, granted, he has to live with that every time he comes to school.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to live with it when he goes home.
Right.
And in this day and age, they got to get it at school, and then they get it online, and then so I see why
it's all night.
Suicide, you know, mental, you know, trying to be.
We had this
whatever.
We had this dude in
everybody wants you to be, so you don't get.
Yeah.
You know,
we had this dude in high school that everybody picked on. And I remember we had our 30-year. God, I'm old. No, that was 25 like high school
still
reunion.
Old. Still old.
And he did have still old. He did have one guy that was like his good friend, and they were still good friends, like they lived down the road from each other. And I remember we were at the 25-year thing, and I was talking with the guy's friend. I was like, where's he at? Like, he should come out. And he's like, I don't think he's gonna come out. I was like, message him, see if he'll come out. He messaged him. He's like, everybody's here and they want to see you. And he wrote back, tell them all, fuck you.
Yo,
I was like, hey, that's 25 years later. They remember that shit.
They remember. I do. I remember girls that dissed me in second grade. So I definitely remember. Yeah. You know, I definitely. So if I remember, then I know that they remember. Yeah. And I think about that sometimes, man. I think about some kids that I just straight, and because I was picked on when I was really young. I was really small. I was really smart. I grew up in a really rough neighborhood, really rough cousins. But I was a real soft kid.
Yeah.
You know, I was a mama's boy.
Oof.
I was, you know, I did not like to fight. I did not like confrontations. You know, I was a very sweet kid.
Right.
And you could look at kid photos of me and see like, wow, you can just, now that I go back and look at those pictures, I go, wow, it wasn't really,
right.
You know, you're
like, I would have picked on me.
You'll understand this. This is one of the reasons why I like talking to you. You'll understand this because one of the things that I know that when you are someone that has either you come from a tough background or you are in a place where you have fighting experience, right? One of the things that you can't front is heart. Like you can see it in somebody's eyes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much you talk or junk they talk. Like when you're face to face with that person, you're looking at, you can see it. Like it's something that I try to explain to kids all the time because I think they think like I used to think, you know, like, oh, I can act it, or I can't
fake it.
I can look you in the eye and I can tell
you don't have it.
You don't have it. You know what I mean?
Which is a shark.
Right, which is what most fighters would tell you.
You
know, boxers and MMA guys, they're like, oh, as soon as he got in the ring, I knew.
Yeah,
because I can see it in his eye. And so for me, it was like I adapted. You know, I went from the kid that, you know, did get beat up all the time.
If you get beat up enough, eventually you figure it out.
And I just so happened to grow up with the kind of cousins that were like, we can't take having a cousin who's a crybaby. So they literally,
we got to fix you.
First, they just would fight me intentionally, right? Like I remember one time they literally took me in the woods. I think they tricked me to be like, we're going to pick, you know, back then we had like honeysuckle and blackberries. And they were like, yeah, sure, come on now. And then I went in the woods.
Like, let's pick blackberries.
And it was like 13 of my cousins. I grew up in one of those neighborhoods. There was a lot of us, you know. And they were like, yeah, we can't take you being no punk. And I was already crying, like, please.
Oh my God.
And they just beat me until I fought back. And so after that, they would just start setting up fights for me, right?
Holy crap.
So like over time, I developed that look. But the point reason why I'm bringing that up is because I had the unique experience that allowed me to recognize both sides of that look.
Yeah,
like to know when you have it and to know when you don't have it.
Right.
And that thing, that the reason why I brought it up, because I was like, I don't know how that translates to today.
Yeah.
Because a lot of what the students go through or kids go through now, you don't even see people.
You can't. Yeah.
So there's no way to really, because I was thinking like, all right, well, how do you develop then?
I don't know how they do it.
You know what I mean? Because you can develop a rhythm. And granted, for me, it was like becoming a chameleon. Like I had to be this person and then transforming into this person. So it would literally be like, you ever seen Fruitvale Station?
Yes. Yeah.
That was very kin to how I grew up.
Yeah.
Where it's like on one hand, he's like the sweetest kid, and then the next instant he could be, but it was my environment that made me that way. Like, I didn't really have a choice. It was either that or get my ass kicked every day.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to understand on the outside looking in. And that movie really gives you an insight on how someone develops that kind of split personality. And how, but it's you begin to adapt